Hello, this is Shamim. I'm working as a senior web developer here in Eicra Script Limited. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how can we manage our invoice template, because we frequently receive question from our client. They ask me how can we change the logo of your invoice, and how can we change the invoice pay to, pay for, and the bank details. So I hope after viewing this tutorial you all should be informed how we can change the invoice template. So let's get started. So this is our default demo real estate script. I'm picking this real estate script to demonstrate this idea for you, but the same tricks and methodology and the same option will remain. The option we are here showing, it will remain same to any of your script purchase from Eicra. It not necessarily has to be the real estate script. So here I can see an order now button. So whatever the script you are running, you can find an order now button. So here I can select check-in date, check-out date. So based on the product, you can find the order now button works differently. So I'm just checking the availability, and if my room is available, so I am going to place a new order so that system can generate an invoice for me, and we will show you how can we modify the template of our invoice. So now I am going to check out. So checkout option asks me to log in if I am an existing user, or if I am a new user, it gives a small registration form so that I can register myself and then make payment. So this is a long field. So what we will do, we are not going to fill up this form, because I am going to open a new tab and I am going to log in as an administrator, and I'll refresh this page so that I can skip the registration part. So let's do that. I'm logging as an administrator on a different tab, since I am an existing user, so I don't want to get myself registered again. So once I log in, the system will automatically identify that I have already registered with it, and then I would like to proceed payment. Yes, logged in successfully. So now I'm going to refresh this page to skip the registration phase. Yes, it is. It brings my default profile, the administrative profile here. So now I can proceed checking out. So this is last name, first name, and this is what user profile is. Since I'm an administrator, so it takes my profile. So I'm going to check out, and I would expect the system will create a nice invoice for me. What I would like to show you, how can we change and modify this invoice template. So here you can say I'm going to place an order for 1,880 US dollar item, and once I click on the checkout button, so system is processing my order, and it will take me to a page called invoice. Here it is. It's a nice invoice. So system is trying to send an email to an administrator as well as to the user who is going to place order. So currently the invoice status remain unpaid. So a nice red CSS showing an unpaid. So this is a logo, invoice logo. We will show you how can you change this logo. So this is our default logo. It's a preloaded image. You can change this option. So invoice 2 is basically user profile, and pay 2 is basically administrator information and the site owner information. So you can change this body part, but this is a dynamic variables. It prints the amount and others. So we will show you how can we change the logo and the tie and the pay to and the payment gateway. So what we have to do, we need to go back to our administrative control panel, and under the billing you can see the list of the invoice: paid, unpaid, cancel invoice. So this manage invoice option will give you an area where you can manage your invoice. So this is the list of the unpaid invoice. I come up here. So as you can see, the invoice ID number 654321 is in descending order, and client name who has ordered and create the invoice for. So the last invoice 6 is an administrator. So I'm going to delete all 1 to 5 invoice. So I would like to keep my new one, the one we have just created. So I remove everything, and look at this, the invoice number 6 is the invoice that we have just created, and I click on the edit mode so that I can see how the invoice is created. So look at this, from admin point of view it renders a bit differently, but again the status remains unpaid, and first name of the user who placed the order, and invoice who created the invoice for. So here in front end part the presentation is a bit different, and invoice 2 is basically the user profile, so client information. So since I am the administrator, so it's showing my admin information because administrator has placed the order. And invoice subject, and this is the invoice body. So what if your customer says that I have not received my email, so would you please send this email again? So here is the body that proves that the invoice has processed for them. So the value you can see in between the percentage sign is a variable. It process dynamic run it process and runtime. So here is our unpaid invoice. So email template setting, this is the important area. So email template setting is the template that I am set for our property module. Property means real estate module. So look at this, I am going to click on the edit part. So under this module like property auto, so this is the list of the software that you are using through eicra.com. So since I am using our real estate script, so I select a property and select the user role called registered user, and the most important part is this invoice creation template. Look at this, this is the template which has been generated, so called invoice created. So means the invoice created template is going to process when an invoice is going to create it. So where I can get this template, under setup you can see email template. I'm going to open it in a different tab so that I can navigate side by side. So here under our setup, look at this invoice created means invoice created template. So where I can find invoice created template, it here ID number 34 invoice create template. So if I edit this template, it means I am going to create the template of invoice. So in the template name is invoice created, means the name called invoice created is because it's an invoice template. You can see which page, invoice template page I load up in a HTML editor, and this is actually post formatted invoice, and this is logo, and this is pre-formatted invoice template which is parsed dynamically. So I delete the default logo, and I'm going to upload an image called this one. I'm going to change this image here. So it means the default logo, I don't want it. I want my company logo in replace of this. So what I have done here is I remove my image from our invoice template, and then I have placed a new image. So pay to, okay, pay to option, where it comes, because pay to is the site owner information who will receive the payment for. So I'm going to save this, and pay to is under our global setting, and under our global setting which is under site called global setting. So under the global setting there is an option called payment and billing tab, and here you can see pay to text. So bank name is your bank name. So bank name means whatever the bank name you want to set, you type your bank name, your account number, your account name. Assume that your bank name is one bank and your account name is your company name or ABC123 whatever, and your account number and the SWIFT code. And if you need any further information, why don't you just add one more line, or remove the line that you don't need, and you can come up with the text that you want. So I'm going to save our global configuration setting, which is under global setting there is a tab called payment and billing and pay to text. So once I hit the save, it means the default pay to has been changed, and this invoice to is a dynamically rendered value is depending on the user profile. So here you don't have to do anything. So now I'm going back to our template page. So look at this, the value you can see in between two percentage sign is a variable. Please apply your extreme caution before making any change to the variable. We highly recommended not to change any variable, but change the static text. Look at this text you can change, modify whatever you want, so it doesn't matter. But the value in between the percentage sign is variable, so system reads this variable. So if you garb something here, then system will not be able to parse so look at this, I garb here, but the system will not parse this value and it will look odd at the end of the day after parsing. So pay to means is a variable, dynamically post the value you have in your global setting, and invoice to is a variable which has been replaced by the user profile, so dynamically. So the value in between the percentage sign, please do not make any change, but other than this you can make any change. So look at this pay to is a payment gateway. So here the default is my bank, it means the bank information, and here you can bring PayPal to checkout or any other payment gateway that you would like to get paid through. So where it comes, so let us show you. So it is under our billing payment gateway here. So I'm going to open it in a different tab so that we can navigate side by side. So billing payment gateway list. So look at this, ID number 7 is turned on and everything is turned off. So therefore only the bank transfer is going to display for the to the invoice page. So here is the data that you can see when you select the drop down button. So this is the data that is coming from the area called payment gateway and this bank information. So here you are free to make change any of your bank information, but you may get confused because pay to has a bank information and payment gateway is a bank information. Basically payment gateway is not necessarily has to be the bank name. It can be PayPal, can be to checkout, can be whatever you want to set for, but I by default I set up as bank information, so that's why it loads the bank information. So I make some changes here in payment gateway. So what and bank transfer. So when I generate our next invoice, so these default values should change into the value that I have just set up for. So I pretty much make a little bit change here. So I change logo, I change pay to, and I change bank information. So now, so let us go back and let us place a new order so that we can experience the changes that we have made, so that it will be clear for you to understand what changes affects and how changes affect. So now let us go back to our selling lead and I am going to place a new order and it will create a new invoice if my property remains available, and I'm going to search for checkout and check-in date. Yes, it is available. So then I'm going to place a new order, and since I am already in on the session logged in, so system will not ask me to register again and it will create a new. Look at this, it fetches our default profile, so it's admin profile. So now I am going to check out. So once I click on check out, what I am expecting? I am expecting the value that I have changed should be reflected here. What value? We change our logo. Yes, the logo, new logo comes. The pay to option. Look at this. I have changed my pay to from our global setting area. Pay to got changed, and the payment gateway is my bank. I have made a little change through my backend area. So my bank should be changed to my default information that we have set. Look at this, it is one bank and so no longer XYZ, and the changes that I have made comes here nicely. So I can now see my changes comes quite nicely. So it works. S- and if you want, you can add new line here, or if you want, you can drop line based on your requirement. So whatever you will do, it will print here. So the pay to, where this pay to option comes, so let's look back again. So the pay to comes through our global setting area under payment and billing tabs. So where it is, under site, global setting, and under global setting, you can see under site there is a form called global setting. So under global setting there is a payment and billing tab, and it is pay to text. Whatever the text we are going to write here, so it will publish to the pay to. And how we change this logo? We change this logo through our email template. So email template, okay, so how the email template name is invoice created. So email template resides under your admin setup and email template. So you can delete this logo and you can load up new logo here. So you can see the changes, how it affects. Again, the value you see in between the percentage sign is a variable. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial. I hope it helps you to understand how can we change our invoice template. If you have any question, do not hesitate to email us. Thank you very much.